Alright guys, it's GameboyLuke here, and welcome to another Pokemon information video, I guess. As you are all, I'm sure you're all aware, the Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon games have been announced, or they were announced, or new Pokemon games were announced today. I'm sure you guys have been more than aware if you're active on Twitter and you've seen a bunch of people uploading reaction videos. If you haven't seen mine, link will be in the description for that. But seeing as I've cooled off and stuff, and I've had the chance to kind of look at the trailer and play it back and look through footage and stuff, I thought I compiled a bunch of notes that I want to talk about and maybe throw at you. I was going to have this conversation with someone else, but I couldn't find someone to do it with. I couldn't do it with Callum because we couldn't decide whose channel it would go on, so we just thought, screw it, we'll just do our own. I'm going to sit here and babble to you guys for a bit. I want to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. You guys had like a crazy conversation with ideas and stuff in the first video I made about this before the game was announced. And I really want to start that again because I'd love to hear what your feedback is. Let's all get excited for this new game and the other possible outcomes of this game as well. Maybe like Switch titles and stuff. I'm gonna bounce off those too. But yeah, I'm gonna get started. Let's see what we got. So during the direct itself, I don't think it's on the trailer, but during the direct, Matsuda states that it's not a sequel. This game is not a sequel, so it's not like how Black and White you know, like the original game, and then Black 2, White 2 were like set in the future, or they were like after. I'm not really too sure because I didn't play the games myself, but I know Black 2 and White 2 is like a sequel of Black and White. You don't play as the original character, I don't think. I might correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that those two are like directly linked. Whereas Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, like Matsuda states, they offer an alternate story taking place in the world of Pokemon Sun and Moon, featuring Pokemon that did not appear in the original versions. New features will allow you to enjoy your adventure even more. And then they include making this a truly ultra title, because puns. But from this information, you know, they're straight out the gate. They're telling us this isn't a sequel. This is like a reworking in a way. They're not like directly sequencing it. It's like they made Sun and Moon. It was great, and then they maybe kind of like when it came out, they were like, well, we could have included that, this, that. There's this Pokemon we've got here. Didn't really give it a purpose. Or they had the plans to begin with, didn't have enough time, or they planned to implement it in a later game. Who knows? But the way I see it is, you know, Ruby and Sapphire came out, and they're the same game, different in like the only differences are version exclusives. And if you think about when Emerald came out, it kind of put the two games together, and then they had extra stuff there, like the champion changed, the 8th gym leader changed. They had different cutscenes you could encounter both Groudon and Kyogre. So maybe, well, in Ultra Sun and Moon, obviously there's two different titles for it, but Emerald was like a reworking of Ruby and Sapphire, and it just made it better in a way. And some people may argue that Ruby and Sapphire, they might prefer those, but Emerald was like a reworking, and they added a bunch more extra stuff to it, right? So Ultra Sun and Moon may just be like, I don't want to sound like off-putting to anybody, but it may just be like an expansion pack sort of thing, or a reworking. Like, you can already tell, like, from the games themselves that there's a bunch of different changes and stuff, which I'll get into a bit later. But you can see, like, like when it comes back to going or talking about Black and White, you can see that they're taking some inspiration from that, I feel, because you have the fusions of Solgaleo and Lunala with Necrozma. And I don't want to go into too much, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, but like, Colress was in this game. Does he have something to do with that? He does make a random appearance, and there are a few other things that I want to talk about in regards to a couple cutscenes that are shown in the game and in the trailer later too. There are small details here and there, like you can notice from the small footage that was actually shown to us, that it includes different clothes and it also includes different hairstyles. If you look very carefully, you can see from the opening cutscene, when you first start the game, that your trainer is wearing completely different clothes for a start. They're definitely more like Alola. You know, they're more like summery clothes than they were the clothes we wore before. We had like the capri shorts and the shirt and the baseball cap. We have like a summer hat, dude, and we have like crazy ass cool shorts and shit. Like it's completely different to how the game starts originally. And there's even small details, like for example, in the back, you can see that there's a Rockruff frame there instead of like the Pikachu plush. That's a very, very minute detail. But once you leave the house and you're on that first route, everything looks different. There's like a surfboard out there. The route looks so much more tropical. There are more plants. Like, it's more or less what you more or less expected like a tropical island to look like. It looks much more colorful. And I guess maybe they kind of just saw that and maybe added that on the side. But you can already see that they've gone right from the beginning of the game and changed a whole bunch of things. So when you go through the game, it may feel similar, but it's gonna be different as well. So it's like, I don't know, I like this kind of thing, and I always loved it when they did like red and blue, and then they brought out yellow, and yellow was just like a better version because it had better colors in it. I mean, if you played the game on a Game Boy Color, it looks so much better. And they had all these other features in the game that weren't in red and blue. Same goes for Crystal, same goes for Emerald, same goes for Platinum, and then they stopped doing it with black and white and X and Y and stuff. So it's nice to see that they are doing a sort of like it's not really a sequel, but like a revamped version of the game that has a bunch of extra stuff in it, and they're fixing a bunch of stuff that they may have broken or forgot in the original game. So we might, like I say, we get more customization options, because I know a lot of people complain about that, but we also have the opportunity for like the Festival Plaza to be fixed. Please, the Festival Plaza could be much, could be reworked and could be much better. It may have bring back the PSS. You know, this is definitely like me shooting in the dark right now, but there are a bunch of things that could definitely be included in this game or fixed in this game that weren't present in the original games. We also saw like a bunch of like random cutscenes that included Mimikyu, Togedemaru, Lycanroc. Now, I have no idea what these cutscenes are. They could very well be totem Pokemon, because we did have Mimikyu as a totem Pokemon. I don't think we had Togedemaru. Togedemaru definitely wasn't a totem Pokemon. But there are a bunch of cutscenes, it seems, with these Pokemon. And I have no idea, like I said, it's a reworking. There may even be more trials to do. There may even be different events from the original game. Like, that's what I'm saying. This game is it's gonna feel like a different game almost. Although it's still like the same thing at its core. It has like kind of extra things to do, I guess. I don't know the best way to explain that. But these cutscenes look interesting. I know someone was bouncing ideas. I think it was Callum actually tweeted out bouncing ideas. Maybe there being a third Lycanroc form that could be introduced in the Ultra games. I mean, that's another shot in the dark, but it could very well be true if Lycanroc has its own cutscene. But then that cutscene could also be different per version of game, because if you're playing Moon, it could be Lycanroc or Ultra Moon. It could be like the midnight form. If you're playing Sun, it could be the midday form. Who knows? We don't know, because I ain't got the game yet. But still, there's also a very mysterious cutscene. Again, this is me shooting in the dark, and I may be like, maybe over speculating a little bit. This cutscene has a trainer, pull out their Z-Ring, and it's a very HD cutscene. Like, looking at it, it looks very nice, very colorful. It could have been made in post-production, so like it's not from inside the game. They animated off their own back. But I want to know if this cutscene exists in the 3DS. Could this cutscene have been recorded from the Switch? Now, there was a website, I think the Pokemon Company press website accidentally put on the release date for the 3DS, and then underneath it had the release date for the Switch, and it said to be announced. They quickly soon, like after it was pointed out, they quickly removed it. But was that a mistake? Or were they trying to hide something and they were like, oh snap, we need to remove this, we don't want people to know that this is a planned release. But this cutscene, it looks pretty good. Arguably, it doesn't look maybe Switch quality, but it might just be the 3DS engine ported over to the Switch, and then like they've recorded this cutscene real quick and it's just like a teaser. It's a work in progress. This game isn't finished yet, so I don't know. I don't want to like get anybody's hopes up. I don't want to get too excited myself, but this cutscene looks really nice, and I almost think that it's like the Switch title. I don't want to like say that there will be a Switch title, but Game Freak did say at one point that they are bringing a main series Pokemon game, so not Pokemon Tournament, even though that was announced too, and that's cool. They did say they're bringing a main series Pokemon game to the Switch. Could it be reintroduced on the Switch in the future? I don't know. And also from this cutscene, you can see that the player is rocking out a black and white Z-Ring. Now, I don't know if that's like a play on the fact that it's black and white also had this fusion stuff. I don't know if the Z-Ring has anything to do with fusing Necrozma with Solgaleo or Lunala. But there is a Z-Ring, kind of similar. You're going to see it on screen right now. I looked in the textures of the Pokemon Sun and Moon game, and you can see that the thing itself, the Z-Ring itself, isn't the same, because the crystal in the cutscene or the Z crystal rather, it's different. It's not the same. Now, I'm scrolling through myself. You might see something different on screen. But the Z crystal in the games are like, they're a 4-point diamond. Diamond. In this, it's like it's 4-point square, a 4-point square, and then a 4-point diamond all put together. So the top 3 points of the square, the bottom 3 points of the square, and then the 2 points of the diamond are all stacked in on another. This could be nothing. It could honestly be nothing, but it could have something to do with the story. It might just be a redesign of what the Z-Rings are going to look like. But I don't know. It looks fairly similar to the one that I found. It more or less looks like a fusion of two Z-rings, if anything. It's very, very odd, and I have no idea what it's all about, but it was, I don't know, I just thought I'd point it out. I mean, I looked at it, and I was like, this looks super, super different. What's super cool about this announcement, though, is the fact that this game is coming out on November 17th. Now, a lot of people are like, why is that cool? A lot of Americans, all the Americans won't, I don't think you'll understand too much, but Sun and Moon got delayed in the UK by a week. So it's very, very nice to have Sun and Moon have a global release on the 17th. Now, I know it's a game that's kind of technically already out, and it's like a revamped version, but it's nice to be able to have this game at the same time everyone else does. And obviously, I live in the UK, and it sucks when a game comes out a week late in America. I don't have too much trouble getting it, but it would be nice to be able to get it for myself, and have it early myself, rather than like, if I get it early, then, you know, the Americans have already had it for half a week already. And it's like, oh, okay. That just screws every UK Pokemon YouTuber up, like, thanks. But it's nice that it's coming out because you guys can get it too, and you don't have to be spoiled too much. Because obviously, as soon as the Americans get it, they're gonna shell out all this content, and you might want that. That's fine, but it'd be cooler if you could have the game yourself while they're playing it and play it with them, you know, rather than like just having all this content burst out on you, and you'd be like, oh no, I ain't got the game yet. That's not cool. Looking at the forms though, this Solgaleo and Lunala forms look ridiculous. They look insane, to say the least. And it looks like the sort of the triangle that's on their foreheads. It somewhat looks like the charm you're given when you leave, like your I don't know what it's called, your challenger's trial or something. Your charm that you hang on the bag at the start of your game. It kind of looks like that. I don't know if they're Z crystals or what they are actually, but I guess it could just be Prism refracting light. It's just insane to see like parts of like Necrozma's body sort of like just flung onto them, and they're like kind of spangling in the air. It looks interesting, to say the least. And I really don't know what effect this is going to have on the Pokemon, because the Necrozma's already a Psychic type, the Legendaries are already a Psychic type, so I don't know if there's going to be a type change per se. But like, I don't know, I'm just interested in what these forms are going to be. Like, what is the deal around them? I'm really interested to see what they do with the story, because this is going to be a whole different thing. I think the story is going to be based on this stuff, more so than what it was the story in the original game. Like, there might be I think there might be a story about how Necrozma came to be, or what. I have no idea. But like, these forms, I don't know what you guys think about these forms. A lot of people were saying like they look like a fan made them. They look very, very odd. They're interesting, to say the least. I really like how Lunala looks, honestly. But it's also followed up. The two cutscenes are followed up by the cutscene, the HD cutscene. So I have no idea if that has any relevance to it, like I said with the Z-Ring earlier. But yeah, I think that's all I can really talk about. Considering we weren't given a great deal of information about this game, I've tried to keep it short and sweet. The game looks crazy cool. I'm excited for it. It looks very, very more animated. It looks much more lively. It looks much more colorful, and that's kind of what we expected of Alola. But since we were given what we had, you know, we took that and we were like, cool, this game is awesome. But now we've been shown a different version. This is what it could have looked like. It's kind of like, oh, this looks sick. You know, it looks so much better. It looks very, very vivid. And I think they're also trying to set it up so that this game can last a long time as well, because they're not going to give us another generation for a good long while. And they want to give us a game that is solid. I wouldn't want to live with the Festival Plaza we have now for another like 3 or 4 years. I would much rather have this game and it be all fixed and it look pretty and it be nice and stuff. It's going to be lit. Again, let me know what you think down below. If there's anything I've skipped on, is there anything you guys want to input and I can think about for the next time a news video is dropped? We can have a little bit more like of a look, more of an outward perspective of everything. It's nice to get some comments from you guys and you guys to give me your information, because it's very appreciated. You know, it's nice. I'm not the only person on this planet. It's nice to take ideas and information from other people, because I don't think of everything all in one go, and I might have missed a few things. You guys might have spotted something else that I missed. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here now. I promise you this will be the last video about Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon for now, until we get another news video. But if you've enjoyed regardless, please leave a like rating down below. It is greatly appreciated, and I'll see you guys next time.